Hello everybody, and welcome to yet another Gay Let's Play Dragon Age Origins. In our last episode, Angelus and company decided to take on some of the side quests that were given to us by both Prince Bhelen and Lord Harrowmont, the two dwarven candidates who are trying to become Dwarven King. Lord Prince Bhelen's task had us go into the deep roads, or at least one small area of the deep roads, and Lord Harrowmont had us competing in the proving grounds. And of course we were successful in both. So now Angela still has to decide who exactly he's going to be siding with. But before we continue, there was one thing that I wanted to bring up, because with Rory, I think I had pointed out before that he has this. He comes with a piece of equipment when you first recruit him, which is an old engagement ring. And I was wondering what exactly is the significance of this engagement ring. Did he used to have a fiancée? Is he actually engaged right now? But when I took a closer look at it, if you inspect the item, it says that this ring belonged to Roland's mother. It is the only token that he has from her. So, yeah, apparently Rory has never been engaged. This is not his engagement ring, it's actually his mom's engagement ring, and he's been holding on to it for sentimental value, which I think is very cute and very adorable. So, just wanted to clear that up, because I was curious about it myself, so I figured some of you all out there were probably wondering what was the deal with that engagement ring that he was carrying around. So, let's get out of the proving grounds. I think, though, that before we continue on, I'd like to switch up my party a little bit. So, let's see. Who should we pick? Let's see.
Vashaden.
Blast it!
Sorry, guys. I want to try to pick a completely different set of people. Let's bring Liliana,
Indeed.
because I feel like we haven't put Liliana in our group in quite a while. And we haven't had Alistair in our group in some time.
Yes.
And let's see, who else do we want to bring? Let's pop on Shale,
Yes.
just for kicks. Okay. Let's go with that for now. Seems like a pretty nice group. Oh, and we can level people up. Perfect. I like levels. Let's take a look at Liliana. Alright, Liliana. Let's see. Let's bring up your... What do you need? Ooh, we can increase her pickpocket. Kinda want to do that, actually. Increase her pickpocket and increase her device. Yeah, I want her to be able to unlock chests. So we'll go increase this guy, this puppy. And this requires dexterity. So let's go ahead and increase her dexterity up. And as for Al's got on his sexy Templar uniform, which he claims that he keeps underneath his pillow. What do we want to give? Well, I mean, I could give him strength, but I want to see what else. I don't really use traps, so detect presence of nearby creatures. Let's increase his combat tactics, because I don't really use any of the other skills all that much. And then let's see. This requires... Oh, he'll need dexterity. He has enough strength to use these two weapon and shield powers, but he needs more dex for this one, so I'm going to increase his dex. But let's give him Mental Fortress. I want to increase more of his Templar abilities. The Templar has learned to focus on duty, gaining a large bonus to mental resistance. I like that. It's a good passive ability. And Al, we're going to increase your dex. Yeah. Alright. Now, let's check out Shale's inventory, shall we? Because I think we might have picked up a few more... let's see. We've got a clear fire crystal. Let's give him... Yeah, let's give him some fire. And we'll give him the large flawed, so we can have a matching set. There we go. Yeah. There we go. I think we're all set for now. So let's head back, because we need to report back to I guess we got to report back to either Bhelen or Harrowmont, whichever one that we're trying to whoever we're trying to work with. Now, if you remember, Angelus kind of didn't complete Lord Harrowmont's task because he wasn't particularly happy with that one dwarf who was essentially cheating. Well, he was pretty much seeing someone who was cheating on her husband with him, and that didn't sit very well with Angelus at all.
That was an excellent showing. We were honored by your participation, Warden.
The honor was all mine, sir. Excellent. So I think at the moment, I think Angelus, based on the experience he's had so far, is kind of leaning more towards Bhelen at this point. Which for me is surprising, because as a player would have probably thought to go with Lord Harrowmont, because he seems to be, I don't know, the less devious of the two. But based on what Angelus has witnessed, it makes more sense to me for him to go with Bhelen as of right now.
So, Shale, when you were standing there all that time, did you sleep?
I have no need to sleep. My body does not tire or do other flesh-related functions.
But don't you get bored? Wouldn't you want to dream at least?
I do not dream. This is what it does when it sleeps. It paws its nose and mumbles incoherently.
Yes, of course. I thought we all... Huh. You watch me?
I watch all closely when they are still at night. There is little else to do.
For hours and hours?
I count the breaths. It helps to overcome the overwhelming urge to crush their faces while they sleep.
Well, I won't be doing much of that anymore.
That's a bit creepy, Shale. Although I guess I can't really blame Shale. I mean, personally, I think Alistair would probably be adorable watching asleep. But that's just me, I guess. Alright. We're not completely done with Bhelen's task yet, because I think there's something about these papers.
I trust Vala, my nug-wrangling friend.
There's something about these papers that Angelus kinda is a little suspicious about. And I'm wondering if he might be able to get some sort of verification from the Shaperit about it. So we're gonna run over.
Legion of the Dead sighted battling Darkspawn near Orzammar. They have no orders while throne stands empty. Make Harrowmont your king now.
I should probably talk to Leliana and see if she has any insight on this location, because she's a pretty learned bard.
I have heard much about the halls of the dwarven kings, but the stories do it no justice. It is so strange, harsh, yet beautiful.
It's too stony for me.
But that is part of its beauty. It is so different. I love it. And have you seen those tiny pig-like burrowing animals?
Oh.
They are adorable. I wish I could have one as a pet. But they must be hard to catch and... Oh, just ignore me. I'm so silly sometimes. Let's just go.
I think Liliana's talking about nugs. The bunny pigs. The pink bunny pigs. She wants one as a pet, does she? I'll keep that in mind.
News of the hour. Lord Harrowmont entrenched in the past. How long can he ignore that Orzammar must change to survive?
Alright, there's the Chamber of the Assembly. We don't want to go there right now because we haven't quite figured out once and for all who we're going to support. But we're going to go in here real quick before we finally make up our mind. Shaper.
Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzammar's memories?
Yeah, could you look at these promissory papers for me, Mr. Shaperate Man?
These are Harrowmont lands promised here. But these are not the deals we approved at the Shaperate. Where did you get these?
These are not... Really? Vartag Gavorn gave them to me.
And he scripted these counterfeits? This is a serious crime. I will have the Ministry of Lands begin an investigation into the Gavorns immediately.
Oh, these are counterfeit. The papers are forged?
Not entirely. There were 2 promised deals, but their terms differed significantly from what is presented here. It appears the scripter altered the dates and locations of the agreements to make them identical.
Ah. Alright, so now that completely changes a lot of things. Wow. So, Angelus doesn't really particularly care for either of these candidates now. Because, Bhelen's, that Vartag Gavorn guy pretty much tricked us. Well, he tricked us, and then he made us trick the other 2, Lady Dace and that other noble gentleman, into thinking that these promissory notes were supposed to be for the identical dates and locations. That's kind of underhanded. I mean, not even a little underhanded. Pretty darn underhanded. So what do you know about Vartag Gavorn?
The Gavorn family is a minor one, founded when a daughter of the Ferender house married down to a warrior caste man. Her brother died, leaving her family heirless. So the Assembly granted him a new family name and allowed him to adopt his daughter's children as heirs. Vartag Gavorn is on record asking the Assembly to bar Harrowmont from King Endrin's sick room. He's a vocal supporter of Prince Bhelen.
Yeah, I figured. And can you tell me anything about Prince Bhelen?
The prince consulted me before his father died. He wanted to know about King Bhemo, the last king to rule during a blight. I told him Bhemo made many changes during his rule. The Assembly was even disbanded for a 2-year period. Bhemo declared that, in times of war, the warrior caste answered directly to the king, and all voting was suspended. Bhelen seemed quite interested.
Is it true you're related to Harrowmont?
He is a kinsman, yes. If you count to the 6th degree of remove, I am related to every noble lineage still represented in Orzammar. I can even trace my descendant directly to House Sigmund, which lost its tie to the Darkspawn 13 generations ago.
And do you get to vote on the next king?
The Shaperate do not vote. We simply record history as it happens.
But you have a preference for king.
I cannot speak my opinions. History can be changed with a careless word.
Thank you. I need to have words with someone.
You are an outsider, Warden, but not outside the law. I hope you will not do anything to challenge the stability of Orzammar.
Stability of Orzammar? Orzammar is kind of falling apart right now. I don't think Orzammar is particularly stable at the moment, Mr. Shaper Man.
Ah, you return, Warden. Is there more you would know from Orzamar's memories?
Yeah, let's talk about Orzammar again, Lord Shaper.
Ask, and I shall do my best to answer.
Tell me some of Orzammar's history.
We were a great empire once, outnumbering even human. We traded with your Tevinter Imperium,
Yeah.
but we lost too many battles. We lost our golems, and we lost our territory.
This is another reason.
Now the empire is simply ruined tunnels filled with darkspawn.
This is another reason why I wanted to ask the Shaper about the history of Orzammar, because he mentioned golems earlier. And now that we have Shale in our party, I think Shale might be interested in this conversation. How did you lose your golems?
The Paragon Caridon, a smith of unsurpassed genius, invented the golems. For years they were our weapon against the darkspawn. One golem is worth a dozen dwarves in battle, but Caridon's tide is far into the deep roads. When it fell, we lost his secret to creating golems. There are books about it along these walls if you would read more.
Golems like this?
Yes. We have only a few dozen left in Orzammar, and I do not recognize this one. Where did you find it? Every golem is precious to us. We'd pay a good sum for a new find.
Oh, wait.
I'd sooner jump into a pit of lava.
Unfortunate. Was there anything else? I must tell the rest of the Shaperate about this discovery.
Never mind, I should go. I don't really... Shale's not for sale, sir. Shale is my friend, and Shale is coming with me.
Your presence here has been recorded in the memories. I wish I knew what significance it has.
Alright. We need to go talk to that Vartag Gavorn about these forged notes, because... that kind of sickens Angelus as well. And if that's the case, then I think Angelus now is starting to lean more towards Lord Harrowmont, just by that new information. Because while he's not really keen on that one dwarf who was trying to... he wasn't really keen on that one dwarf who was with that woman who was already married to another man. That's not necessarily Harrowmont's fault. In fact, it most likely isn't Harrowmont's fault. I mean, Harrowmont, I think based on the messenger, Harrowmont's messenger, he had no idea why the two fighters were not competing in the provings. And the reason why he sent Angelus on this quest is to find out why. So, if that's the case, then Harrowmont has nothing to do with that, you know, family stuff that, he doesn't have anything to do with any of that. So I think Angelus understands that, and if that's the case, he probably is, depending on what Gavorn says, is probably leaning more towards Harrowmont.
Lady Dace just came through the quarter on a tear. She's telling everyone who'll listen what a leech and a liar Harrowmont is. Good job. So you were serious about wanting to help us?
Just a
Are
sec.
you ready to meet Bhelen now?
Just a second. I have a few things to do first.
I wouldn't keep the prince waiting long.
So apparently we can't really confront him about this at all. But we can go to the
This should be
assembly
easy
cache.
enough.
Key to the city. +2 cunning, +2 to all attributes, +6% spell resistance, and +15% healing received. That is definitely a Angelus item, if I ever did see one. Yes. We can use this to replace the Lucky Stone, because all it does is gives us +1 to all attributes. I think I'll give the Lucky Stone to, I'll save the Lucky Stone for somebody else. Let's see. That's the Royal Palace. I'm gonna go...
Lord Bhelen is the voice of change and defense. Lord Harrowmont is the voice of stagnation and ruin.
I'm gonna go talk to Lord Harrowmont's people real quick. If I
Legion
can.
of the Dead sighted battling Darkspawn near Orzammar. They have no orders while throne stands empty. Make Harrowmont your king now.
Let's see. Oh, I guess we can't. Alright, well... I think, we have to go talk to that one guy in Tapsters. But I'm wondering if he'll talk to us now, because I think the game thinks... I feel like the game now thinks that we're siding with Bhelen. The Prince's Favor... Loss of the Memory, Thief, Unlikely Scholar, Zerlinda's Woe... Where are my completed quests? Creta City, the Princess Sarah's the first act, Lost Nut, the Lord's Trust. Yeah, I wanted you to find the provings in Harrowmont's name, but you failed to do so. I did! Oh! Dylan Ferender wanted you to find the provings in Harrowmont's name, but you failed to do so. Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. Alright. Well... Alright, folks. Well, I guess that determined that. We're gonna go and help Bhelen, it seems.
Lord Harrowmont, said to have kicked castless in the street. Does he respect none beneath his station?
Alright. Oh, we can pick another specialization, guys. Soul Reaver, Soul Shaper, Child of Night, Soul Blade, Lyric Thaumaturge, I don't know how to pronounce that, sorry. Spirit Shaman or Blood Dancer. I kind of want to pick Soul Blade. A Soul Blade is a fighter that has become so enamored by their favorite weapon that they become one with it. They embody the art of fighting, destruction, and death. It is there in the heated depths of battle that they truly feel alive. I'm very curious about this particular one. And, with that, let's see. Can I get haste finally? I think I can. Because I've got one, and I think I can get two more. This one gives us Healing Ward, and then this one, you imbue one of your held weapons with your spirit essence, destroying it and rebuilding it as a soul blade. If no item is held in the main hand, the item is held in the offhand. The item held in the offhand will be destroyed and rebuilt instead. Melee weapons receive a bonus to damage, range weapons do extra spirit damage, and shields receive a bonus to damage and armor. This process cannot be reversed. That's interesting. But for right now, I kind of want to see if I can get haste. And I think I can because I have 37, yeah. So let's cast Essence of the Mage twice. It's once. And I thought yeah, take that, and then you need to do that and that. Wait for this to recharge. And yeah, wait for this to recharge, and now we can get haste, which is one of my favorite spells, next to Force Field and Crushing Prison. Alright. And what do I want to use? I think I want to increase my strength. Because... Or do I want to increase my dex? Maybe my dex, because I will need 30 dex, yeah, to maximize these. Okay. 23? Yeah. Measure of agility, reflexes, and balance. Higher dex improves the character's chance to hit, makes the character more likely to dodge, and contributes to the damage dealt by piercing weapons, like daggers or arrows. Archery and dual weapon fighting styles demand high dex to master, making this attribute favored for rogues. Alright, let's increase the dex. Great. Alright. So, yeah, I guess we're siding with Bhelen. Which I think is going to be interesting, because normally I side with Harrowmont. But I think now that we've earned Bhelen's trust, and we technically failed... I mean, we technically failed Harrowmont's quest since we didn't completely convince one of the fighters to continue fighting for him. So I guess, you know, this is the route that, by default, that Angelus has to take, as much as he didn't like the fact that Vartag forged those documents in order to trick us and trick those other two nobles. But hey, we gotta go with it, right?
Are you ready to see Bhelen now?
I'm ready. Take me to him.
I warn you, be on your best behavior, and keep your weapons sheathed.
Don't tell me what to do. I'm doing that guy a favor. If he wants to be king, you know, he better be legit, is all I gotta say. Because I haven't heard much good things about this Bhelen guy.
I am impressed, Warden. Not many outsiders so quickly grasp Orzamar's rather convoluted politics. I am Prince Bhelen. Vartag told me of your efforts against the usurper who tried to claim my father's throne.
I heard you're the one King Endrin didn't want ruling.
My father lost 2 sons when one turned against the other. He was mad with grief, and Harrowmont did all he could to drive him over the edge. I was his only living child, and Harrowmont barred me from him. I had to tell him goodbye by common messenger. Who's to say what my father said in his final hours, when the usurper Harrowmont was the only one by his side?
You got a point there. I mean, it does seem pretty convenient. Alright. Alright. Well, they say you killed your own brother to take his place.
If you believe that, why are you here?
'Cause the game didn't really give me a choice, sir. You know, I can't really do anything past the mechanics of the game. I wanted to meet you in person and decide.
You need help, and after what you did to him, Harrowmont won't give it. And I don't believe you'd risk your alliance just to find out about my brother. You may not like me, and I'm fine with that. This is a time for action, not cultured debate. We need absolute unity to fight against the fulcrum of true evil.